Yeah, I think a big thing for me is like, I definitely want to get married, but I also understand that if it doesn't happen, our journey isn't over.
I do. If before the wedding and we decide that we're not ready, then we're both very comfortable in saying it's just not the right time for us.
Yeah.
Why does it feel like this episode was a filler and outside of the Katisha storyline, there was nothing else going? Is it because all the couples were well behaved and were all lovey-dovey? I don't quite get it. We would have enjoyed seeing couples actually happy for a bit. And so with Katisha, personally, I don't get it. I really don't get why she feels the need to defend this man or her relationship instead of asking questions. Because if everybody keeps asking you, why did you make the choice that you made? Why did you make the choice? Both boys and girls, it's not just the boys, both boys and girls are questioning this relationship. If that were me, I would ask people, why are you asking me? Is there something that I'm missing? What exactly are you seeing that I'm not seeing myself? Please help me. But it seems she's set in proving a point, and this is why she's going to defend this man to the very end, and it's all going to end in tears. But anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love is Blind, Season 2, Episode 5. You have all the couples out doing little activities and enjoying themselves. Some are, with Bradha and Jed, they are on the quad bikes. Kieran and Megan are snorkeling. You have Ashley with Billy swimming, and you have Sorover and Carl. Well, they are on a date. They are sort of doing a massage date, and yet with Javen and Katisha, they're still in bed, and it's like, what's going on? Why are you not carrying out any activities? Is it because you didn't sleep, or is it because she was crying because people are calling out her choices? Anyway, Ashley and Billy, they're having a conversation about their connection, the fact that they really developed this strong emotional connection in the pod, and now that they've met in the real world, met once the doors were open, they are attracted to the person that they're in a couple with. And I love. If they are saying there is a strong physical attraction as well as an emotional connection, this is what Love is Blind is meant to be. And so if that's the case, that means there is hope for them as a couple, and I hope they succeed, because I always want people to succeed. With Megan and Kieran, they're on the boat now. They've finished their snorkeling. And Kieran is saying he loves her, but then you have Megan holding back because she's got the bad experience with her mom. Her mom has had, it seems, a couple of failed relationships, and because of that, Megan has sort of gone into self-preservation mode, and she's refusing to just say I love you just for the sake of saying I love you. Kieran seems at this point to be understanding and willing to accommodate that, but it's only a matter of time, as he says, before he gives up, and she can't continue to sort of drag it any longer to say, oh, I'm not yet there. She needs to take into consideration his feelings, and if she feels she cannot get there, then she needs to let him know, and he needs to keep it stepping and find this person that will feel about him the same way she does. Well, you then have Sorover and Carl. There's massage date is finished. They're sort of sitting down having a conversation. And one thing about Carl is he's going to always say what's on his mind. He really is. He's not going to filter, and I wish he could filter at times, because he reveals that although Sorover is not his type, the problem maybe with his type is the fact that that's who he's been exposed to and that's who he's dated. But he's happy that with Sorover, there is attraction there is emotional connection though, and he really likes what they have together. So that was a very good way to save it, in my opinion, because if he had just left it like that, she would have become more insecure, because it seems she was very insecure around the blonde-haired girls that he had initially said were his type. So hopefully he can get over that, and they can move away from that topic and sort of start talking about something else. Finally, we have Katisha and Javen. They have woken up. They're on the little sort of patio having their breakfast, and Katisha brings up the fact that, oh, everyone is questioning my choice. Carl was questioning me, asking me why I chose you. I don't quite understand why he needs to know. And it's like, girl, he needs to know because his best friend told him that you had said he had nothing to worry about and that he was your guy. So the idea that you suddenly woke up the next morning and just were like, just kidding, I've changed my mind. That is why everyone is questioning. And sadly, you left him for someone who's not serious about you. I think with Javen, he enjoys the perks of saying he's engaged. He enjoys the perks of being on Netflix and the perks of having sex with her up until the crack of dawn. And that's all he's there for. And once all those things go away, then he's done. I wouldn't be surprised once the cameras go away, the show goes away, he sort of goes into the back and says, we're done. I did see he was on TikTok. Apparently he's trying to defend himself, but I don't know. Bradha and Jed, they were having a conversation because Bradha was the one who was driving, and Jed is sort of trying to understand that does she always have to be in control in relationships, or is she willing to let someone else lead? And she says she's always been independent, so she doesn't see how she can allow somebody else to lead. The problem is Jed is always says he was never built to be led, and so it's now a conversation of why do you feel the need to lead all the time? Why can we not alternate, or why can one of us not just be the lead and the other person follow? Because if there's anything that's likely going to be a deterrent or create havoc in their relationship, that's just it. And so the two of them have to reach an understanding of how are we going to get over this? What are we going to do in order to make sure that we both feel fulfilled and we're not being, undermined by the other person leading us? We have a mixer for all the couples. Well, it seems they only had 2 mixers. I'm surprised. There was no sport. There was nothing else. I don't know what happened in Greece. Did they not have enough crew, or was it just everything was smooth sailing and they were looking for drama? I don't get. So you have Emma and Matt come out. They let the couples know that there's one more day in Greece before they go back. And so once they get back, they'll be moving into apartments, which is part of the Love is Blind, situation. So they'll be moving into apartments, and then from the apartments, they will have the opportunity to meet family, loved ones, and see how everyone feels about the connection. And then in 4 weeks, say yes. Everyone is asked, how do you feel? And everybody is saying, we're happy, we're excited, we can't wait. And then you have Katisha and Javen say that, we will see how it goes. If by week 4 we're not ready, we're not going to say yes just for the sake of it. We're going to keep dating, and then afterwards decide whether or not we still want to continue. And it's like, this is not the concept of Love is Blind. Love is Blind is supposed to be a 4-week process. If you're not ready in 4 weeks, then maybe you're not each other's person. That's it. The guys then go on to their own sort of to have conversations while the girls are sort of on their own speaking as well. And the guys, they're discussing their connections. They're sort of discussing what is going on in their relationships to see where they stand. First up is Billy saying that, he is happy to be in his connection. He's excited. But his concern is the fact that, he will be the first guy to meet Ashley's dad, and he doesn't know how Ashley's dad is going to feel about that. And it's like, well, you have to put your best foot forward, because if you're the first guy, you need to be exemplary. Otherwise, you're out the door and just setting a precedence for the rest of the crew that's to follow after you. Jed brings up the situation with Bradha, always wants to be the one in control, so he doesn't know how he's going to navigate that in regards, how are they going to get over that obstacle. And as I've said, talking, and understanding where the other person is coming from. Kieran spoke about the fact that, his partner has not said I love you, even though he's told her he loves her. And so he doesn't know how things are going to go, because she has had the bad experience of seeing bad relationships, and this is why she's holding back and is hoping over time that she can get over it and they can move on and sort of create a stronger connection. And then you have, the guys, you have Billy say, I don't see myself dating someone after the end of the experiment. If we cannot get married in 4 weeks, then that means that's it. That's the end of the road. Because they're trying to say to Javen, what you and Katisha are saying doesn't make sense. It doesn't. What are they still doing there if they are not sure about each other? If you're not sure about each other, go home. You can afford to buy yourself a trip to go to Greece. You can, seriously. Just like clockwork, Carl chimes in, do you ever think about how Demola was treated? It's like, Demola has not been on this show since his proposal was rejected, but his name has been on people's lips a lot more than people who are actually on the show. For Javen to say, I don't know, because I don't know what was being said, so I don't know how to feel exactly. And it's like, you should be feeling bad, because you threw Demola under the bus. You went in knowing for a fact that this girl was set with somebody else. She had broken off things with you. But you continued to sort of dangle a carrot in front of her so that she could continue to choose you. So the idea that, you're suddenly confused as to why is everyone else questioning you, I don't get it. You have Ashley and Katisha have a conversation. Ashley's asking, do you ever think that maybe the reason why you haven't told this man that you love him is because of Demola? And Katisha insists that no, her connection with Javen was stronger than her connection with Demola, so that could never have been the reason. And she stands by the choice that she made because she feels that this is the one that's in her best interest. And it's like, I'm curious personally to find out exactly what happened, exactly the rationale behind her decision. I think this is what everybody else fails to understand, in the sense that had she not come into the ladies' room and said to everyone, I found my man, I found my man, I found my man, people wouldn't be questioning her choice. Had she not told Demola, you don't need to worry, and Demola had gone to tell the guys, no one would be questioning her choice. Her guy, there's something wrong with him. This is why everyone else is questioning her choice. And she refuses to see this, but instead broke down in tears. And it's like, I would have been asking Ashley, what is going on? Why does everybody question my choice? What in particular are you seeing that I am not seeing? Her problem for Katisha is she's been given the day and she's been kept up all night with the D by this little boy. And he's done that. And now she can't even see anything else but him and the D. And so whether people question her connection or not, she's going to fight to the very end, because as far as she's concerned, she's with the right guy. And good for her. We wish her the best. In the morning, everyone is packing up their bags. Billy is saying to Ashley he's worried, he's concerned that her family might not like him. So he's worried that her dad might not like him because he's the first guy that her dad is meeting. And it's like, if you put your best foot forward, if you're respectful, if you're kind, if you're polite, they are going to accept you for that. That's all they want. If you show that you care about his daughter, that's all he wants. But if you come there and you're very cocky and you're very disrespectful and arrogant, then the dad is just going to say, no, that's not it. So hopefully it works out. I really hope it works out for her, because she seems really smitten with him. So once the couples get back to Manchester, they go to their apartments, they're given their phones. You have Billy and Ashley. Ashley is saying she doesn't want to look at her phone. She's been in this bubble when it's just been the two of them. So the idea that she now gets her phone, she's worried that that might taint everything else. Which is a totally different situation when you compare it to Kieran and Megan. Because Kieran and Megan are busy on social media. They're busy looking at each other's socials and looking at pictures and sort of gagging and joking and giggling. The way Megan is behaving like a little kid, the way she's excited, the way she's giddy, she's giggling. She's smitten. She doesn't know it yet, but it seems she's in love. Because she was saying, the way I feel about him, I've never felt about anyone else. So this is a new feeling for me. And it's like, hey, if you love him, we love it. I root for love, so anything that makes people happy, I'm all for it. Bradha and Jed are on a totally different wavelength to everyone else, because they're making their evening meal, it seems, and they're talking about the fact that they share the same culture and tradition, they share the same type of meals or cooking. So that was really cute to see her sort of instructing him on what to do and him just doing it, even though he said he doesn't like to be led. In that part, he was being led. So, hey, it is what it is. He has to pick his battles. I think it's decided that way. Katisha and Javen were sitting far apart. It seems like there's trouble in paradise. On her part, Katisha's upset because she says, why is everyone questioning my choice? Why is everyone questioning my decision? Javen on his part is sort of saying, what did you tell Demola that had him convinced that he was the right guy for you? I want to know, what did you say to him that convinced him that you were going to choose him? Because you must have said something that allowed him to believe that. And eventually she owns up that she told him that, don't worry about it. You don't need to worry. It's now you and me. And so it's like, well, if you said that, that means that you were set on him. And so what made you change your mind? Maybe that's why everyone is questioning it. And so for her to say, I wanted you, and I was just being silly when I said to Demola that, he didn't need to worry. And it's like, girl, be for real. Be for real. If you're telling someone you don't need to worry, and then you change your mind within 24 hours, that means you should have been worried. You weren't as serious as you were making out to be. So it's now a matter of, are you now serious about the person that you've chosen, or are you still undecided? I think this is where the situation is becoming tense. And personally, I feel they need to break up. I really do. I think that's the end of it. Everyone else is just getting in their little apartments. They're just, it's just getting to know one another, just becoming comfortable in their environment and being acquainted to that. You have Billy and Ashley be the first ones to meet the family. They get to meet her dad. Her dad is not happy. Her dad is not happy because he was told he was coming to meet her boyfriend. So the idea that he comes there and then he's told that this is my fiance, he wasn't happy. He actually said, I thought I was coming to meet your fiance. I didn't know that I was coming to meet your boyfriend. So it's going to be tense. It really is going to be tense. I think that's where the drama is coming from. And then we'll see what happens with the rest of the couples. I can't wait to see what happens in the next episode. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 4. Bye guys.